Miss Harrison?
Steps to help. And real quick, I just want to highlight that I
Oh,
noticed when you were
absolutely.
talking about it,
Hmm.
you were experiencing shame.
Oh my goodness.
That was shame.
Man, shame, embarrassment.
Yes, you were humiliated.
I was humiliated. I felt less than a
Hmm.
man.
You were a black
All of that.
man
All of that.
having those issues, and you're
All of that.
taught
Yeah,
not to show emotion as a black
absolutely.
man and to be
Absolutely.
strong in every situation
Absolutely.
because showing emotion may be a sign of weakness, right?
Right.
And
Right.
it triggers other issues which negatively impacts your relationship, like you said, right?
Right. And words are powerful.
Hmm.
We know this also in the black community. It may
Hmm.
happen in others, but you hear these terms. Oh boy, that boy crazy. He crazy.
Exactly.
He crazy.
Yeah.
Now, we can pretend like those words don't have power, but they do. Somewhere
Hmm.
in the inside, I may have been saying, they don't have any effect on me, but somewhere in a small way,
It
there was a
hurt.
certain truth to it that had attached itself to me, right?
Hmm.
But once I got that help, man, that right there was taken care of. So I'm glad you brought that out because all
Yeah.
of those things definitely were happening, right? And it was a process. It was
Yes.
a process, which is a step.
A step
It's a
in the
step.
right direction.
It's a step
Because
in the right
counseling
direction.
provides a safe, non-judgmental setting, right?
Right.
For and is void of any cultural stereotypes. So you don't have
Right.
your family saying all that, and it allows men to express themselves and process through some of the deep traumas that they have that you may not even realize you experienced as
Right.
a child, how it impacts you as an adult.
Right.
So I know you mentioned the first thing you did is y'all went to get help. So you could go to your doctor's office
That's
and
what we
say,
did.
hey, yeah, I'm having these thoughts and feelings.
That's what we
And
did.
if necessary, they can refer you to a psychiatrist,
Right.
right?
Well, that's actually what we did. We scheduled an
Yeah,
appointment with a psychiatrist. Now think about this. Black man saying go see the psychiatrist. I
right.
don't even have to repeat all the things that we have associated
Yeah,
with that, right? That
yeah,
means, okay, yep, you officially are crazy.
yeah.
You're officially one who flew over the
Hmm.
cuckoo's nest. All of these things,
Exactly.
right? But I tell you, it was quite the opposite. And so if you're looking at this, you're watching this, I'm telling you, listen, do not be afraid. If you're afraid, find a friend, somebody that
Hmm.
cares, get them to partner with you. Go get the help. Get the help. Let's get into some of these steps,
Yeah,
sis.
you're worth the help. So
Yeah, yeah,
dimensions of
say
wealth.
that. Wait, 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 wait. Hold on. Let me slow that down. Say that one more time.
You are worth the help. You are
Ditto.
worth it.
You are worth the
You're
help.
worth it.
Yep. If
Yeah,
if Jesus
worth
if
it.
Jesus died and gave his life, come on, you worth it.
You're worth it.
Let's get
You are
these
worth it.
steps. Let's get these
So we
steps. Get
have
this
some
step.
basic dimensions of wellness, right?
Okay.
So emotional.
Yes.
So the emotional is having effective coping skills.
Right.
And those coping skills are things that you do to cope, like
Okay.
deep breathing,
Okay.
journaling, writing. You write. You said you wrote a
Okay.
book already, right? So the
Right.
writing, um, financial. That's
Yeah.
another dimension of wellness.
Wait, wait, wait.
Deep,
You say deep breathing. I don't
deep
want to
breathing.
overlook these. So,
Yes.
like when I'm stuck in Houston traffic, if I just start deep breathing real fast, or is that? Wait a minute. Is that the wrong podcast? This mental
No,
health. My bad. This mental health. My bad.
no,
I'm just saying.
it's
I'm just saying. Because I sometimes I find myself. Okay.
yeah.
Let me get
The
back.
deep breathing works.
It
So
hadn't
literally,
worked for me
you
yet. It
pause.
haven't worked for me yet.
You haven't tried it the right
I'm
way. No,
like
not
that.
like that. Not like that's angry.
That's angry. Okay,
That's
see,
angry.
confession is good for the
So
soul. See, on
deep
the podcast,
breathing
I'm
is
confessing. Do I do? I'm not doing it
so.
like the. Okay, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. You
Thank
teach
you,
me how.
Harry. Thank you. Wait. So you
I'm
pause.
doing this for a purpose. Like sometimes we
Yes. So
think we
break
have
it
an
down.
answer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell the doctor what to do, and the doctor say, "No, that's not it." So we have to what? I have to submit, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
you
So
do.
I'm submitting. Y'all see me submitting. Okay, I'm
Yes.
submitting.
So you pause.
Okay.
Okay. So you inhale at 4 counts through your nose.
4 counts.
4 counts.
It's
So
like swimming,
hold it for 4 counts
man.
and then exhale through your mouth like you're blowing
Okay.
through a straw. Like
Okay. Okay.
do that 5 times.
Okay.
That typically calms you down and helps you get centered. And if you
Wow.
need to do it again, you can do it again. I do it all day, every day. Between sessions,
Oh
if
wow.
I get frustrated, I,
Hmm.
I stop, pause, and breathe, because
Mm.
that's what helps. That's what works for me.
Man, y'all getting these
Um,
dimes, y'all getting these nuggets. Man, you just saved
it works.
somebody's life. You
It
just
works.
saved somebody's life. Somebody is 2021 traffic ain't gonna have no power over them. I'm
Deep
one
breathing.
included,
Calm
including me.
down.
Oh
Get
wow.
censored.
Come on,
Yes.
give us some more steps. I already got happy now. Let's have
So
some more steps.
another dimension is financial. So ensure
Okay.
that you have a consistent financial plan. You're
Yes.
saving, managing your money effectively, because
Okay.
if you don't, that can cause stress,
That can cause stress.
right?
Hey,
That's
we
just being
understand that in
realistic.
2020
Yes,
for sure. Yeah.
exactly. Occupational, making sure
Okay.
that you're satisfied with your employment. Why you laughing, Harry? Tell us why you're
No, I'm
laughing.
just saying, it's the people that when you said that, they felt that one.
I
Occupation,
know, I
right?
know.
So that's a
Yes.
big one. Okay.
It's a big one. So,
It's a
like,
big one.
hey, all money is not good money.
Yeah.
I left what I was doing to come
Yeah.
do something to walk in my
Yeah.
purpose.
Sure.
Counseling allows me to walk in my purpose, and I don't make the same amount of money, but I am happy.
Absolutely.
I'm content.
Wow. That's a word for
So,
somebody.
yeah, it makes a difference. It really
Yeah.
makes a difference.
Yeah.
So, physical wellness. So, being physically active is so important.
Wow.
Having a healthy diet and having a consistent sleep plan, it
Okay.
really makes a difference. Like, even if you can't exercise 30 to 45 minutes, 5 or 6 days a week, if you can
Right.
do 3 days a week, it has a drastic impact on how you feel. I do
Mm.
kickboxing 5 days a week minimum, typically.
Man, you
Five
know
days a
what?
week minimum.
That sounds so. I need a kick bag in my life. I need a bag to kick. Is that? I mean, I just want to. Hiya! Is
I
that?
said kickboxing, Harry.
Oh, you said
Kickboxing.
kickboxing. Okay, I
Yes,
was thinking about them little things we used to have when we was kids, and
yes.
you
I know
punch
what you're
it and
talking.
it pop right back up.
That's a bobble bag. That's like a
Okay, so
bobble
that's not
bag.
the same thing. I'm just
Bless your
asking.
heart.
I got
No.
some of my viewers. I'm just hey, I'm just trying to be transparent.
But you're right. We gonna let that's
Boy,
not
listen
what you
here,
need.
cause
Yes,
I will kick the mess out that little bobble thing,
yes.
man. Look here.
And it helps you though, right?
It helped. Well, no, I mean not really.
But
You
that's
know,
not consistent
it's
physical
not consistent.
activity.
Right, right.
Yes,
See,
you need
once
consistent.
again, I'm
Hmm.
leaving my way. I'm adapting to the
Yes,
medical, right? It's
yes.
gonna be both, right?
Consistent. Yes.
Got it. Got it.
Healthy diet. Healthy diet
Healthy
is
diet.
important.
Yeah, let's talk
Yes.
about that.
How you eat affects how you
Yes,
feel. So you
absolutely.
don't want to live to eat. You want to eat to live.
Absolutely. We
And
need
that's
that
a
word. Yeah.
yes, that's a transition that I've made, and it's very difficult. I'm a
Yeah.
pescatarian trying to transition to being a vegan.
You're a
Um,
Presbyterian.
I did
I'm a
not. You know that.
Methodist.
You know.
I'm a
I said
Methodist. What you are?
pescatarian, Harry.
What did you say? I thought
I'm a pescatarian.
oh a pescatarian.
Yes,
See, I'm thinking about
yes.
religion. See this you see why we talking about mental health?
I
Right.
eat
Okay, I got you.
seafood. I eat
Okay.
seafood, but I'm trying to transition that to
Okay.
eat. Go toward being vegan, and having sleep and rest is so imperative for
Right.
your mental health. And I'm preaching to the choir. I don't get enough rest.
Right.
So it's important to incorporate sleep into your
Right.
schedule, to get like 7 to 9 hours of sleep. That's important,
That is
because
important.
if you miss out on 2 hours of sleep, that can have a drastic impact on your day. So
Absolutely.
you want to be consistent with your sleep schedule.
Right. Can we say
Um,
that? Can we say this too before you go on? When you're talking about diet, and you talked about being a Presbyterian. I mean, not a Presbyterian,
Pescatarian, Petty.
pescatarian. There we
Yes.
go. Joking, but it doesn't really matter if if you're not trying, but if you're being that a vegan, whatever it is, the diet and the proper
Hmm.
rest they have to be coupled together,
Yes, they
right? Because
do.
I don't
They
want to
do.
make it seem like we just preference one over the other, keto, whatever it is that you're doing.
Right.
Um,
Right.
Whatever you're doing, it needs to be coupled with the proper sleep, the proper
Hmm.
water intake, all of those different things. So,
Right.
however you're
Right.
trying to be healthy, we need to incorporate rest. And the
Yes.
reason why that's so important to me is because I have a saying here in the house. My family knows it. When I come home, it doesn't matter if I work 13, 14-hour days. When I get home, it's grind time.
Yeah.
I have some things I'm doing, some things I believe in, and it's like I don't remember my mom working a job and doing like all of the things that I do. I don't remember her being as busy. And I
Hmm.
understand life itself is just so busy.
It
So
is.
that is a very important message. Whatever it is, if you're en route or en route of the bag or whatever, trying to have a better family, but all of it, we have to have proper. And I think we need to preach that. That's very important. Here in my house, we have 4,066 channels, and man, it's like we trying to watch all of those different.
Ah,
It's so many things that pull at us. Is my
right.
point.
There are.
Now you
Schedule.
can get eating. You don't have to eat at home. You think about it. Things have changed, and I believe all of it has a part to play with mental health. There was an era where families they sat down together, the
Right.
TV turned off, we had dinner, we talked. I believe a lot of those, I don't want to say traditions, but just family values,
Yes.
bringing some of those things back, they can add and deem value in terms of having mental health. We need those things back, right? And as I'm getting, like I'm saying, you're sharing the mental, but just these are practical things that we can do, right? Because the one thing we do know about God, God's not going to do for us what we can do for ourselves.
Right about
And
that.
so you're talking about just some practical steps that we can do. So I just want to pin that in. Keep going, sis, with those steps.
Okay, so a support system is so important.
Oh man, very
It's so
important.
important. And you talked about your support system helping you during your difficult time.
Absolutely.
Um, Having a sense of belonging and connection,
Yes.
that really is instrumental in trying to make sure that your support system is able to support you at your weakest moment,
Right.
right? So sometimes you gotta look at the people who are closest to you, who you consider your support system.
Right.
Because like had you gone to somebody when you were in your weakest moment and they didn't listen, that could have turned out several different ways.
Absolutely.
Could have
I
turned
agree.
out several different ways.
I
So
agree.
um, environmental wellness stimulates and supports your well-being. So your environment has a lot to do with how you feel and the different stimulants that are around you. So you
Absolutely.
want to make sure your environment is what you need it to be. So being able to have an organized home, a clean home, that
Mm,
environment plays a drastic impact on how you feel when you leave your house to go to work
right. I
and how
agree.
you interact and engage with the people in your household.
Wow.
So environmental wellness is very important.
What's
So
another one? Give us another one before we move on. Give us another step that we can use.
it's only let me see. We have intellectual,
Okay.
aware of your abilities and use your skills, and spiritual, which we've been talking about the whole time.
Wow.
The purpose and meaning in your life.
Right. So with those steps, and of course there are more, um,
Yes.
but when she was naming the different steps, of course, I'm listening to you give those steps. But of course, when I hear you say that, I think about God's word in Philippians 4, 6, and 7. It says, do not be anxious about
Mm-hmm.
anything. Watch this. But in everything by prayer, supplication, with thanksgiving, let your request be made known to God. And then when we do that, look what comes to bear in our life. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding. Trust me, 2020 was a year where there was some times we just felt like I don't have any understanding. It says it will
Mm-hmm.
guard your heart and your what? Your mind
Mind.
in Christ Jesus. Mental health. God says, I already have a prescription. We have to take that prescription.
Mm-hmm.
And once God said, there are some things I have done, there's the things I have given into the earth, meaning doctors, medication, right? But then there are some natural things. So I continually want to go back and show that it's just like we have a body, a spirit, and a soul. There are the three tiers that we need to bring together to have the mental health that we
Mm-hmm.
need, right? So in our um, last moments, if we could hit on a few of them, we talked about the steps. Let's talk a little bit now about the sustained progress and long-term goals. You taking the steps, and I know for me, once I started, even though it felt good, it was still a little scary
Mm-hmm.
doing these new things, right?
Yes.
And I thank God I didn't have to go through it by myself. But maybe someone's listening saying, well, hey, man, I heard you. I don't have that support system. I don't have a squad. Like, how can I sustain this thing? What's a realistic long-term goal, right? What are some of those?
I think before you set a long-term goal, you have to have short-term goals.
Okay.
So with mental health, a lot of times short-term is
Mm-hmm.
it helps you be more consistent. So
Okay.
that can be a week by week expectation.
No, that's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, so week by week. So for instance, like I can see like an example of what I make those for my clients. So doing positive self affirmations.
Yes.
If you're depressed and you have low self esteem, looking in the mirror every day and saying something positive about yourself to start out your day, oh
Mm-hmm.
gosh, that does it works wonders.
Absolutely.
That's a short term goal. That's boosting your self esteem because you have to boost yourself up before you can expect somebody else to do it, right?
Right.
So we have positive self affirmations. Other coping skills like the journaling we talked about. That's something that you can do daily, but if you
Okay.
don't do it every day, you can do it weekly. And
Mm-hmm.
there are different, like, you can Google, and Google is everything. You can
Yes.
Google journaling excerpts to use,
Mm-hmm.
like the beginning of your day. You can write what was a great thing that happened in your day,
Right.
something that happened bad in your day, and something you would have done differently. And that helps you be more aware of what's going on, right? So writing those down because that's something that you can track,
Right.
right? And you can see it.
Just and the reason I want to plug it in because you put, man, you have some great stuff. You said it this way: know where you are and where you strive to be. Right.
Yes,
And I think that's so
yes,
important. We don't want to overthink it, right? I know all of us are at different levels, different
yes.
places. Our faith is different. We've all
Mhm.
had different life experiences, but just practical things that can put us all on the same playing field.
Right,
Hey, if it's a principle. If he worked this principle, I can
right,
work it and get the results I need for my life, right?
right.
Another one that we had is keeping track of strategies that are working
Mhm.
and keep hope in your new tomorrow. I think
Right,
that right there, you have to believe that there is a new tomorrow that's awaiting you, right?
right,
And
right.
for me, that was motivation. Once I got on board with the plan, I'm like, you know
Yes,
what, man,
made a
you are,
difference.
hey, my grandfather told me something that stuck with me and it drives me to the day. He said, you're going to meet people smarter than you. You're going to meet people that are stronger than you, faster than you, more
Mhm.
athletic. They just more than you in all those areas. But he
Right.
said, there's one place nobody better be more than you in. I'm like, what is that, grandfather? He said, nobody better not ever outwork you. And this mental health or whatever issue you're going through, if you
Right.
put the focus and the heart on it, in it, you can overcome anything. So I'm a
And
living testimony of that, right? So this is some good stuff. You dropping dimes. You got about 55 points on the board right now. Man, drop a few more on us before we get out of here, Miss Harrison.
um, another one we have is like maintaining and nurturing your environment. So
Okay.
remember, it will cost you 80% less to maintain your new
Mm-mm.
environment than to develop a new one.
Oh Lord, Lord, Lord.
So,
I didn't
and
have to
that's
push my car when it ran out of gas.
and that's something that you've taught me. So it really makes a big difference just to be aware and to,
Right,
like you said, know where you're at and
right,
know where you want to be and to
right,
work towards that. You have to start somewhere.
right.
But if you don't acknowledge it, you can't even start because you don't know where you're at.
When you said that, you mentioned to me about Joshua 1:9, right?
Hmm.
And I think sometimes we live in a time now where it's like cover it up,
Yes.
masqueraded as something else. But I want
Hmm.
you to know, fear is fear is the real deal,
It is.
right? It's the real deal. My head got crooked. It's the real deal. Can you talk about or expound upon the revelation God gave you with Joshua 1:9?
Joshua 1 and 9. It says, have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do
Mm-hmm.
not be frightened and do not be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. So I believe I shared with you that when my sister passed last year,
Mm-hmm.
it was very difficult for me
Yes.
and I lost my mind.
Yeah.
Completely. Like
Mm.
I couldn't work. I was in school full time. I could barely function. So I myself had to use the same steps that we discussed. I had to go to the doctor. I had a prescription. I did not want to take medication. They sent me to a psychiatrist. I did not want to take medication. I
Mm-hmm.
said, you know what? I have not completely lost my mind because God is still giving me direction.
Mm-hmm.
And prayer and supplication is what helped me get through.
Mm.
God helped me get through that difficult time. God
Yes.
helped me get through my grief. Now, while there are resources to assist, that's what helped me. The
Yes.
medication could numb me for a certain amount of time,
Mm-hmm.
and that's all it did was numb me.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't feel. But in order to heal, you have to feel. You can't heal if you don't feel it to
Mm.
process through it.
Mm.
So in that moment, I was able to realize like the importance of being strong and courageous enough to acknowledge where I was and to be able to talk about my feelings and my thoughts in order to help me get over, get through what I was going through, not over, but to get through it. Because you
Mm.
can't go over grief. You have to go through it. You have to process through it. You have to talk about it.
Oh, that's powerful.
So
Say that one more time. Wait a minute. Say that one more time.
you can't go over grief. You have to go through it so you can
Mm.
talk about it and process
Mm.
through it.
Process it. Wow.
You have
Now,
to process it.
listen, we know that's true because you're
Hmm.
listening to two individuals who are here on the podcast.
Yes.
Have we not gone through, we don't qualify, we're not eligible to be able to share, and not that we have arrived, so to speak,
Right.
but that going through, that's probably the biggest part of it. And I think sometimes the idea is what are others going to think, but that's really not it. I
Mm-mm.
got to the point, I didn't care what nobody think. It was an inter battle with myself. I was fighting
Yes.
with myself, part of myself. Like Brown said, I told myself, he answered himself. Part of me was
Yeah.
saying, we stand here. The other part of me said, no, we're going forward. That's
Right.
the part of it that where he's telling Joshua, have I not commanded you?
Hmm.
And you have to have those moments where you have to go back and, okay, have I not commanded you?
Hmm.
Be strong, be courageous. So we're not just telling you this. I'm telling you, this is what you're going to actually have to do. And that being strong and being courageous is going to come in different formats and different ways. So, wow, that's some good stuff. That's some good stuff. What else do you have to add to that?
Um, to that, just to, I think everybody just has to be aware of themselves and be real with themselves.
Right,
Um, I really do implement a self care regimen with
okay,
my clients and myself. I think it's important to look at that
right.
because if you don't have a self care regimen in place, it's easy for you to backslide and fall back off the wayside if you're not making your mental health a priority.
Right. Now
So,
let me. I just want to plug because I don't want depending on who's watching.
uh
When we say backslide, we understand what that means in the kingdom, but there is a such thing as backsliding in your natural life. Can you explain that or delve into that? What that looks like? What does it sound like? What does it feel like?
so you don't want to regress. So, for instance, if you're in counseling and you're seeing a counselor and you're working on your coping skills consistently,
Right.
you're being held accountable, you're holding yourself accountable,
Yes.
and you're tracking your progress, and you
Right.
stop seeing your counselor, you're no longer implementing those coping skills and you're doing maladaptive coping skills,
Wow.
might be drinking, smoking, things like that. You're not going to be in the same place you were when you were meeting with your counselor every week or
Mm,
2 weeks or once a month, you
once
know.
a month.
So if you're not doing that, you kind of have to start from scratch.
Got it.
So it's kind of, you have to admit, hey, I messed up. And it's okay. We all do.
Ooh.
It's okay to say, hey, you know what? I haven't been on track. I haven't been taking care of myself because that's ultimately what it's about. You're not taking care of yourself, your mental health. So, and then you get back on track. And your counselor is not typically the person who is always holding you accountable,
Right.
right? But like that's what you have a support system for. Your counselor holds you accountable in session,
Right.
but if you choose not to go, what can a counselor do?
Wow.
Right?
Back to what you're saying, the majority of the work is on the client.
Yes, the
It's on the
client.
client. So it's important to maintain your new environment
Yes,
and bring maintenance to that new
yes,
environment. That's powerful.
yes,
That's powerful.
yes,
Well,
sir.
I tell you, this has been so enlightening. It's been very, very educational. And of course, this is just a snippet. We have a lot more in store. I tell you, 2021 is going to be a great year.
Amazing.
Whenever you log on to the New Balance podcast or anything that we're doing for that matter, you're going to be able to find some encouragement. You're going to be able to find some laughter. You're going to be able to find some hope. And we're definitely going to point you to the right possibilities. So I just want to appreciate you again, sis, for coming on. I'm definitely going to have you back on. And we're going to tackle some other issues as it relates to mental health.
Yes,
We know that this is a topic that's not going anywhere. We see the suicide rate, we see death in our communities, and
yes,
even if it's not physical death, we see people that are dead men walking, right?
yes.
And so this is a mandate not only for me, but for you. And who
Mhm.
better to partner with? Strength for today, sustenance for tomorrow. Love you guys. Peace.